spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The city of Clinton is hearing from many developers about things they want to do in Clinton, but slowing those efforts is a lack of tax increment financing districts, or TIF districts. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Clinton City Administrator Tony Harris told the Heart Media Group the city of Clinton has hired a TIF consulting firm to help it establish and develop more TIF districts for its goals of growth.
Last night we had in Gwen Crawford, and she is with the Economic Development Group, LTD. They are located in Bloomington. That office specializes in TIF and economic development, and they have a couple of attorneys on staff too that's going to help through this process. But basically, as I mentioned last time I was in, we felt the city felt that we need to hire a TIF consultant. We have two current TIF. Well, we have one TIF that just expired last year that we have to close out this year for taxes 2025 payable 2026. And that consultant's going to help us close that one out and then help us administer the current TIF, the downtown TIF 4. It's not just downtown, but I call it downtown TIF because that's basically what what it's used for. But then it also goes off the square down South Center on the east side of the road and then up north a little bit. The goal was to bring that consultant, that firm on board to help us with those two TIFs. But not only that, to take it a step farther, as I mentioned earlier this month, on creating some new TIFs.
According to Harris, the establishment of new TIFs is essential to future growth in Clinton. He indicates they hear from developers who want to come to Clinton. However, that development hinges on the creation of TIF districts.
When I say we receive calls, we receive calls from business owners or investors looking at doing something out in that area. But the first question they ask me, Mr. Harris, do you have any TIF districts in the area? Well, unfortunately, the one just expired. So so that's the incentive to get busy and get a new one there. And that's, like I said, that's the first question they ask because they need that TIF district in place to fund their new business. That's one reason why we're doing this, and that's the very first step. And when I mentioned earlier that I like to see a larger TIF in Clinton, I think we'll get there. This TIF, we will grow on this TIF once we get it in place this year. We can add to it. But we have to get it going relatively quickly because of the growth that we expect to see. And these businesses that have reached out to me, they're like, Mr. Harris, we need to get this going immediately. We're ready to do something. We need to get the TIF going and in place by the end of summer, and that's aggressive. We hope that we can do it. So that's why we have to keep it more of a smaller area, but again, encompass some of the residential area too, so we can help there.
While many may think creating a TIF district is as easy as pulling up a map of the city and taking a marker to create boundaries, it isn't quite that simple. There are a lot of legalities and procedures that have to be followed to create the districts.
That's a good question. It's not that simple. I wish it was. If it was that simple, we wouldn't have to hire a consultant because there are state statute TIF laws in place that we have to abide by. That you can't just say we want a TIF district here. It has to meet a certain set of rules. There has to be in a blighted area. It has to be in an area where there's empty buildings or old buildings, the age of the buildings, and I don't have that entire list in front of me, but there's a set of guidelines, a set of rules that must be in place when we create that TIF district, and then it also has to, the state has to okay it as well. So it's not just as simple as taking it before city council and say, yes, they approve it, and we're going to put it in place. So there is a good deal of work with the state that goes along with it as well.
Sure.
But that's a good question.
Harris is fielding questions much more frequently lately about development in Clinton, and he attributes much of the excitement to the recent announcements of Meta, Quickwall, and Meyer Industries.
The city is being very aggressive, along with DCDC, Kurt Homan. We're working together, being very aggressive and trying to identify land. So basically, the city's not buying the land. What we're trying to do is find land that can be developed either through commercial or residential, and then get the investors together, and they can work out the deal with the landowner. So that's kind of how that works out. It's kind of a challenge just trying to find land, but me talking like this at the radio station here, that's what spurred some of the phone calls that I've received, like, hey, Tony, I've got some land that's available. And then I jot those down, and then we try to connect the investor with the owner of the land. That's exactly what happened with this new housing that I'm talking about. That's what happened with that. I was contacted by the landowner, put him in contact with the developer, and it's in the very early stages.
Harris reminds TIF districts in Clinton would not only serve the purpose of creating development opportunities for businesses, but also for housing. We'll have more in the next few weeks from Harris about the program the city is looking to start, called Block by Block, to address community homes that need a little improvement. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, 4-H'ers are getting ready for fair season. The America 250th Celebration Committee in Clinton is finalizing plans for a 3-day celebration of the community, the country, and the 4th of July holiday. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Kenny Atchison with the Clinton America 250 Celebration Committee told the Heart Media Group they have 3 days full of activities for residents of all ages.
It'll be on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It falls on a Saturday, so we got lucky. It'll be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll shut the square down and have events going on all weekend. We have a lot of stuff planned so far. We have a trackless train, Mike's Trackless Trains, Andrew's Family Magic, Magician, 24-foot rock climbing wall from Upper Limits, balloon artist, face painters, Sally Marvel out of Chicago. She's a sword swallower and fire breather. She does other stuff, walks on glass. We have wax hand station, 2 bounce houses, 2 bounce house obstacle courses, bags, cornhole tournament going on that weekend, sand art station, dunk tank, free popcorn and snow cones, and free water from 11 to 3 on Saturday, exotic petting zoo, a 5K race, goldfish stand, donut eating contest, a 100-foot slide, and a 200-foot zip line, and bands throughout the weekend. There's always room for more, always looking for more ideas.
And of course, parade and fireworks.
The 3-day celebration will include a 4th of July parade. Bobby Perryman indicates they are planning a reverse route for the parade. The annual homecoming parade originates at the square and concludes at the high school. Their parade will start at the high school and conclude at the square, where all the weekend's activities will be.
So the parade is going to be on the Saturday at 10 a.m. and it's going to be kind of a reverse homecoming parade. So, homecoming, they go from the square down to the school. Well, we're going to be doing that backwards, but on Main Street, West Main. So if anyone is interested in having an entry in the parade, we will have room for walkers, for golf carts, and for floats. Edith Brady Lunny is the person heading that up. Okay. So if you have her contact information, because Edith is everywhere and does everything, you can contact her. Otherwise, you can always email me at perryman@vwarner.org.
Atchison says they will have a lot of live entertainment during the 3 days of the festival.
Some of the musicians we have planned so far are Josh Holland Band, Weisenhart Music, Green Diamond Express, Harmony Grits, Brushville, Planet Vibe, and an Eagles tribute band out of Eden.
Okay.
Friday night we'll have an opener and a main act. Brushville will be our main on Friday, and then Saturday we'll have a band playing during the day at noon for an hour, and 2 more bands at night on Saturday. The main band being the Eagles tribute band.
Okay.
And then we have 2 more bands playing on Sunday as well.
Atchison and Perryman say the goal of the committee is to make everything free to the public to participate in. You can follow along with all things America 250th celebration in Clinton by finding the committee on Facebook. You can also call or email Perryman at the Warner Library in Clinton for more information on contributing financially or volunteering. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the efficient Trax. We also have a good selection of our 7-passenger Chevrolet Traverse and Tahoes. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. See our winter celebration savings at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 20 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. As the weather starts to break, students in the 4-H program likely have the summer fair season on their mind. Ann Reinbold with the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties explains that since they returned from winter break, it's been full steam ahead for 4-H students and their leaders as they prepare for the summer fair season.
We are gearing up. The minute that we got back from our winter break, it was go time. So your staff in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt County are working really hard. And we are meeting monthly to make sure that our horse show, June 27th and 28th, our general project show and livestock show, July 9th through the 12th, goes as smooth as possible. Things will pop up, things will happen, but we are just so excited to do, let's just say, some sweating. As we're looking at this really cold weather, we've been, freezing with all of our layers, but we are very excited to just kind of dive into each of those general projects, the livestock show. I know our 4-H members are working really hard already. I mean, they work throughout the year and they kind of decide, okay, what project area do I want to dive into this year? Do I want to explore aerospace? Do I want to explore our foods, our livestock? Do they want to have a chicken for the year, and bring their eggs to have judged? So there are just so many opportunities for our youth to get involved and be a part of that show. And also, if you're not a 4-H member, please come out and just see what our kids have done all year. We just love it when our community comes out to support each of our 4-H members and their family because, man, they have put in a lot of work.
The show takes place at the DeWitt County Fairgrounds north of Clinton, and Reinbold is appreciative of all the support that families and community members show when they come. She adds that the great food options help bring people out as well.
Well, and I think one of the things I want to highlight is we have some good food out there too. Our fair board out there, they provide food and have it available all 3-4 days of our general project show and during that horse show as well. We always have our classic ice cream. Everyone gets really excited when they can have one of the ice cream cones or one of the sundaes. So many things happening all at once. And a fun thing to do when, it really is hot, but it kind of takes your mind off of it for a little bit. I think it's, I believe, I'm trying to remember our schedule, but I think it's that first night. We've got a pork chop dinner that you can buy tickets for and help support our fairgrounds to, keep it going. Our fair board works really hard throughout the year to make sure that fairgrounds is beautiful and maintained and ready to go for each of the shows that are held there. And so whatever we can do to keep those fairgrounds looking good, we would love to have you come out and enjoy a meal with us.
The 4-H fair season for DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties kicks off with the horse show on June 27th this year. Reinbold expects tickets to go on sale this May. Learn more about 4-H at extension.illinois.edu/DMP. The leader of the Illinois Retailers Merchants Association is cheering on a ruling from a courtroom after a federal judge upheld a first-of-its-kind law. The law aims to protect retailers from having to pay swipe fees when customers pay by debit or credit card. For Rob Carr, the CEO of the IRMA, the ruling by a federal judge is a win for every consumer across the state.
So the lower court ruled that the bank's lawsuit in the bank's claims that they are not preempted. The state is not preempted under federal law from regulating this area because these are not the bank's fees. This is the credit card companies, the processors. They are doing a service for the bank, but they are not the bank. They're paying the bank some kickbacks, if you will. I don't mean kickbacks in a negative term, but revenue sharing from the program. But these are not essential bank functions. So the court ruled that the Illinois law is legal and appropriate and is going forward. And as I said, the banks are going to appeal. That's certainly their right. But this is an important development because, as you noted in your intro, it's the first of its kind. There are many bills introduced around the country in other states, so we'll see those gain momentum. Many states were waiting for this lawsuit, the first ruling. And then, of course, there's Senator Durbin and Senator Marshall, Republican out of Kansas, their bill on credit card competition in Washington. So it could have a real effect going forward.
However, the ruling may not last long as the Illinois Bankers Association and the Illinois Credit Union League could file an appeal soon. According to Carr, if the ruling is appealed, the IRMA will take the case to the state's Supreme Court. The Illinois Route 66 Centennial Commission and tourism partners from across the state are celebrating the official kickoff of the Route 66 Centennial, marking 100 years since the creation of the highway, also known as the Mother Road. Route 66 begins in Chicago and runs through the heart of Illinois, connecting communities and travelers for a century. In recognition of the centennial, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity is awarding nearly $4 million in grant funding to local tourism bureaus to support development, education, preservation, and promotion efforts of Route 66 activities throughout Illinois. These awards will help communities enhance visitor experiences, preserve historic assets, and showcase Illinois' unique role in Route 66 history, says Corey Jobe, chair of Illinois' Route 66 Centennial Celebration Commission.
Through this support from our state legislature and the governor's office, the Route 66 Commission will support events that are taking place this year, including April 30th through May 1st, the National Celebration Kickoff event hosted by the Joliet Area Historical Society and Heritage Corridor Destinations. May 1st through the 2nd, the Red Carpet Corridor Festival is a regional event that celebrates the Mother Road from Joliet to the Bloomington Normal area. A June 6th through 7th event called the Progressive Decades Party, hosted by the Visit Bloomington Normal Area Convention and Visitor Bureau. September 3rd through the 10th, Illinois will play host to the world premiere of the Route 66 film, The Main Street of America, which is a cross-country film screening tour downtown of historic Route 60 sites in over 40 locations from Chicago to LA. And here in Illinois, the world premiere locations will include Chicago, Joliet, Pontiac, Bloomington, Springfield, Litchfield, and Edwardsville. September 25 through 27, the International Route 66 Mother Road Festival in downtown Springfield will be returning for its 25th year. October 10th through the 11th, the Last 100 Miles Festival, hosted by Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau, celebrating the Mother Road from Verdon to Granite City with this 2-day festival with classic car shows, community events, and entertainment through 13 communities. November 10th through 11th, the iconic statewide conference and Epic Route 66 celebration, hosted by the Illinois Route 66 Scenic Byway Association and Visit Springfield, will take place with live entertainment and educational symposium in Springfield. June 18th through October the 10th at various locations at 4 locations across the state. We'll be celebrating with a massive Route 66 drone show in Edwardsville, Springfield, Bloomington Normal, and Joliet.
More information on the Route 66 Centennial Celebration at enjoyillinois.com. Now for your local obituaries. Gregory E. Burke, 62, of Clinton, passed away at 9:25 a.m. February 12th at his residence surrounded by loved ones. A celebration of Greg's life will be 2 p.m. Saturday, February 28th at the Clinton Eagles Lodge. Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton assisted the family with cremation rites. Memorials may be directed to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Catherine A. Katie Whitehead, 87, of Clinton, passed away at 9:08 p.m. February 11th at her family residence. Private family graveside services will be held at Texas Township Cemetery in Clinton at a later date. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with arrangements. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Britain's former Prince Andrew has been arrested in the UK. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police say they launched the investigation after assessing reports of his alleged contact with Jeffrey Epstein. President Trump will meet today with representatives of the countries that make up his newly impaneled Board of Peace. Some countries fear the board's work could conflict with that of the UN. And as the Board of Peace convenes, peace is elusive in Ukraine. The war there rages on. There's also speculation the U.S. could find itself in a conflict with Iran over that country's nuclear ambitions. Former South Korean President Yoon has been sentenced to life in prison for his imposition of martial law. Yoon's attorneys expected to appeal the verdict and the sentence. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 125 points. NASDAQ futures off 93. More details at srnnews.com.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
From Lionsgate and Kingdom Story Company.
I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me, one of the most beloved songs of all time.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You're just going to ride off into the sunset, no more struggles or pain?
Comes the highly anticipated I Can Only Imagine 2.
God is in fire, and it is beautiful.
Imagine what God can do again. I Can Only Imagine 2 in theaters this Friday. Rated PG. Parental guidance.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. A dense fog advisory continues until 9 a.m. today. Chance for storms with fog in spots early today. Otherwise overcast. Highs level off around 64. Southeast winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tonight. Lows level off around 34. Partly cloudy skies. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Right now, it's 47 degrees.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Andrei Stojakovic scored 22 points to lead 7 players in double figures, and the number 10 Illinois Fighting Illini routed the Southern California Trojans 101-65 on Wednesday night for its 14th win in 16 games. Blue and orange-clad fans were out in force for the Fighting Illini's game against the Trojans in Los Angeles since 1975. The Illini improved to 22-5 and 13-3 in the Big Ten. They didn't disappoint, leading all the way to maintain a hold on second place in the conference standings behind number 1 Michigan. The Illini were up by 22 at halftime and poured it on to start the second half. They outscored the Trojans 21-10, hitting 5 3-pointers and extending the lead to 75-42. Stojakovic capped the spurt with a steal and one-handed slam that drew cheers. Stojakovic was 6 of 7 from the floor and made all 9 of his free throws. David Mirkovic added 14 points. The Illini hit 24 of 26 free throws while sending the USC Trojans to its biggest loss of the season. Illinois made 13 three-pointers and at one point in the second half was shooting equally as well from long range as from the floor overall, 46%. Ezra Ausar scored 15 points and Jacob Kofi added 14 for USC, who falls to 18-8 and 7-8 in the Big Ten. They lost their second straight and fell to 0-4 against ranked teams. The Trojans were without second leading scorer Chad Baker-Mazara, who averages 18.3 points per game because of a strained knee. They committed 14 turnovers that led to 22 points for the Illini. Illinois visits UCLA on Saturday. USC remains in the Pacific time zone for its final 5 Big Ten games, starting Saturday when they play host to Oregon. JT Pettigrew's 22 points helped Valparaiso defeat Bradley 79-72 on Wednesday night. Pettigrew also added 5 rebounds for the Beacons, who improved to 15-13 and 9-8 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Raheem Chaney scored 13 points while shooting 4 for 8 and 4 for 4 from the free throw line and added 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Brody Whitaker finished with 12 points. Alex Huberguest led the Braves with 22 points. They fall to 18-10 and 11-6 in the MVC. Bradley also got 14 points from Jaquan Johnson. A.J. Smith finished with 10 points and 11 rebounds. It was tied 35-all at the break. Pettigrew's jump shot with 17 minutes and 59 seconds left in the second half gave Valparaiso the lead for good at 40-38. Tyreek Coleman's 22 points off of the bench helped Illinois State to a 78-61 victory against Murray State on Wednesday night. Coleman added 5 rebounds and 4 steals for the Redbirds, who improved to 18-10 and 10-7 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Ty Pence shot 6 for 8, including 3 for 4 from beyond the arc to add 15 points. Landon Wolf went 5 of 6 from the field to finish with 12 points while adding 6 rebounds. Roman Dahmen led the Racers in scoring, finishing with 18 points. They fall to 19-10 and 11-7 in the MVC. Murray State also got 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks from Frederick King. KJ Tenner finished with 6 points and 4 assists. Illinois State took the lead with 8 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the first half and did not trail again. Coleman led the Redbirds with 15 points in the first half to help put them up 36-28 at the break. Illinois State outscored Murray State in the second half by 9 points, with Pence scoring a team-high 8 points in the first half. The Chicago Bears have promoted pass game coordinator Press Taylor to offensive coordinator to replace the departed Declan Doyle, one of 4 coaching moves announced by the team on Wednesday. Taylor was Jacksonville's offensive coordinator from 2022 to 2024. His promotion comes after Doyle left to call plays in Baltimore under a new Ravens coach, Jesse Minter. Coach Ben Johnson will continue to call plays after the Bears made the playoffs in his first season. Chicago's offense ranked 6th overall, with quarterback Caleb Williams making big strides in his second year. The number 1 pick in the 2024 draft, he threw for a franchise record 3,942 yards with 27 touchdowns and just 7 interceptions. The Bears were 3rd in rushing, with DeAndre Swift and rookie Kyle Monangai leading the way. Chicago also committed a league-low 11 turnovers. The Bears also hired Eric Studsville as running backs coach, Will Lawing as offensive analyst, and Isaiah Ford as offensive quality control coach. A 29-year NFL coaching veteran, Studsville was a Bears assistant in the late 1990s and spent the past 8 seasons in Miami, working alongside Johnson for part of that time. Studsville takes over for Eric Bieniemy, who left to become Kansas City's offensive coordinator. Chicago went 11-6 and won its first NFC North title since 2018 after finishing last in the previous season. The Bears advanced in the playoffs for the first time in 15 years, rallying to beat Green Bay in a wild card thriller before losing to the LA Rams in overtime in the divisional round. Quinn Hughes sent the United States men's hockey team through to the semifinals of the 2026 Winter Olympics with a dramatic game-winning goal in overtime of Wednesday's quarterfinal showdown with Sweden. The Americans held a 1-0 lead for much of the contest, but the game went to overtime after a goal by Sweden tied the game with just a minute 31 left in regulation. The game, tied at 1-1, went into a 10-minute 3-on-3 extra session where Hughes and the Americans regrouped, controlled overtime, and pulled out the win. Just before the game-winning play, Hughes waved off the American bench, which was calling for him to make a line change. It proved to be a good decision by Hughes, who used his skating and stick handling to create just enough space for a powerful wrist shot that beat Swedish goalie Jacob Markstrom. Dylan Larkin, who played an exceptional game for the U.S., scored the other goal for the Americans as he turned in his best performance of these Olympics. Larkin started and finished his goal by winning an offensive zone faceoff and getting to the front of the net for a deflection on a point shot. Larkin was also key in disrupting Sweden's only power play of the game, which came in the third period. American goaltender Connor Hellebuck was nearly perfect as he turned away 28 of 29 Swedish shots that came his way. His best save of the day was a robbery of Swedish winger Lucas Raymond in the second period. Raymond was all alone on the back door when Hellebuck came sliding across to make a glove save and keep the game scoreless. It took a dramatic finish, but Team USA is on to the semifinals where it will face Slovakia on Friday. Puck drop for that matchup is set for 2:10 p.m. Central Time. In scores from NCAA men's basketball last night, number 25 Bama beat number 20 Arkansas in double overtime, 117-115. Creighton upset 5th-ranked UConn 91-84. 4th-ranked Arizona took down 23 BYU 75-68, while number 8 Kansas beat Oklahoma State 81-69. Number 17 St. John beat Marquette 76-70. And number 14, Virginia, took down Georgia Tech 94-68. Mizzou upset number 19, Vanderbilt 81-80. And number 11, Gonzaga, took down San Francisco 80-59. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms. You can get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Let's check Ag News on the RFD Radio Network. I'm DeLoss Yankee. Illinois Farm Bureau launched an action request Wednesday calling on members to contact their congressional delegation